Undo the cloud.
Well,
All right, everybody, it is 9 o'clock, and as promised, we were going to be having our first time home buyer webinar, so thank you for joining us. We know that people will probably be jumping in here, and as you can see, we're operating on the gallery view on this first part of our presentation because we want to introduce everybody. So thank you for joining us. So my name's Joe. I am the lead listing agent, buyer's agent, co-CEO of the O team here, and I'll be running our portion of the presentation. Really grateful to see you guys and have you be joining. And I'm gonna go ahead and introduce the rest of the people. So go ahead and take it away.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rolando Ordinario. I'm the Director of Ops, and I'm more behind the scenes, but I will be with you guys through the whole process.
Thanks.
I am William Rodriguez. I'm the VP of Operations at Smary Money Hawaii. It's a locally owned and operated mortgage company, and I'm here just to help out.
Hello, good morning, everybody. My name is Eddie Akabane from Smary Money. I'm a loan officer. I've been here for about 15 years, and I am here to help you learn about mortgages, how to navigate through the entire home buying process. And I look forward to meeting you and educating you on the whole side of mortgages.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys. So here's what we've got going on today. If you're joining us and tuning in, that means you want to know a little bit more about the first home buying process and what that experience is like for you. So ideally, you've never owned a property yet, and you kind of want to know what are the requirements, what are the qualifications, and what are the important things you need to know. And so this first portion is actually going to be what the O team, we here, your real estate team, is actually going to be doing for you. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to do a quick presentation, and that way you guys can find out a little bit more of what we do for you and how you can achieve home ownership as a first-time home buyer. So let's go ahead and check it out. So as you can see here, this is our logo, the O team, real estate experts, Keller Williams. Keller Williams is our brokerage. We're based here in Honolulu, and we can help you purchase any home, single family residence home, or a condo or townhome of your choice, or maybe a piece of land if you want to build something. The important thing is that you know who we are. So that team consists of me and Rolando. Now, the beautiful thing of having a team is also having Will and Eddie with Smary Money Inc., our preferred loan officers. And here's what we love about Will and Eddie and their entire team. They think outside the box, they get you the best rates, and they actually listen to you. I'm not going to toot their horn too much because I know they're going to be chatting a little bit more later and have a great presentation for you. Just know you have a whole network of people working for you in the first time home buying process that you will have with all of us. Now, I only have 2 photos here on the presentation, and probably this is the most important. Let me first introduce you to my grandmother on my maternal side, Lourdes Salvatus. And on the right side, that's a photo of Rolando and I with Rolando's maternal grandfather, Tiburcio Colon. All right, so the reason we want to share this is we want you to know why we do what we do. Now, these 2 amazing people are the heartbeat of our family and really the wind beneath our business. And the reason I say that is because my grandmother taught piano for 60 years, taught at multiple schools, multiple churches and denominations. She believes in love, running a business, and treating people like people. And Rolando's grandpa, such an amazing soul, an immigrant, traveled from Mexico, actually was in the Farm Laborers Union with Cesar Chavez, and was actually a part of that whole experience and movement, and ended up raising 13 kids, so many grandkids. And the reason we want to share this with you is because family is important to us. All right. So when you choose the O team, you become family, and we go above and beyond the normal expectations of what people have as realtors. So quick spoiler alert, when you need to buy a home and you book an appointment with us, we have a home buyer strategy with you, and we'll go over that a little bit later. Now, the thing is, we're not going to be sending you thousands of emails so you can kind of sift through it. We're going to be very strategic and listen to you and treat you like the real person you are, because I'm sure you guys could agree your situation is very unique. Your family is different from another family, and your needs and your loan needs are also different. And so we cater to exactly what you're looking for and exactly what it is that can help you achieve home ownership. And so we share this this photo of both of our grandparents because they really taught us how to treat people like people. They taught us how to run a business, and they taught us how to be genuine, authentic, and come from contribution and add value to our clients and everyone we know. So that's important. They're both resting in peace and watching over us, and they're with us every day. So let me go ahead and change the slide. Now, you know who we are, you know why we do what we do. You're probably gonna know what it is that we actually do for you. All right, so as your real estate team, we work for you and we work with you. And that's something that you need to know. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen because you should probably understand that whatever your goals are with home ownership, we will listen to you and we will come up with a strategy so that we can help you find a home, okay? Like I said, it's a very unique experience on what your needs are. And so we wanna make sure that you understand that depending on what you're looking for, whether it's how many bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, zip code, and also your price point, we work with you specifically. And on top of that, we negotiate on your behalf. Because I'm sure you guys could agree, every home buyer out there is on some type of app, clicking away. So you guys have access to all the properties out there. Now let me ask, do you have access to properties that aren't on the market yet? Do you have access to properties that are coming soon? Because we're really grateful to be part of a very international network to where we know if something is going to be hitting the market next week or 6 months from now. And as you guys know, with the seller's market, it's a really competitive time. Therefore, you're going to need everything on your side to really help you win and get your offer accepted, and within 30 to 45 days, get you in your new home. So you guys can start celebrating the holidays as a happy family or as a happy homeowner. And I know that's what you guys want, right? And so that's really important that you guys know that we are working for you and that we are working with you. Now, I mentioned it earlier, one of the things that we do with the how we do it, because you know what we do, how do we do it? So the first step is really holding a buyer's strategy meeting with you. Now, based on the feedback from our clients who have bought a home and are happy homeowners and they're first-time home buyers, they appreciate that we actually sit down with you through Zoom, by the way, because of the pandemic. We're keeping you safe, we're keeping us safe, and still reaching your goals of home ownership. We have a 30 to 45 minute buyer strategy consultation via Zoom, just like this. And it can be 30 minutes, it could be 45, it could be an hour, just depending on how many questions you have, right? And what we do go over is everything that you're looking for. We go over all the things you actually need, because you guys know there's some preferences that you have and there's some non-negotiables, and those are the important things we listen to, because when we look for properties and scour the land, if we're sending you properties, they're actual contenders. They have a majority of your top 5 things your home needs to have for you to be able to move into, right? And I'm sure you guys have heard that term. There's that unicorn out there, and that unicorn is a property that has your top 5 things, perfect budget, perfect neighborhood, love the neighbors, all of that. Is that possible? Yes. Is it rare right now? Yes. And do we have strategies to help you with finding a home that if you needed to make some type of compromises, they're compromises you can live with. And so what I want to do is actually stop sharing this screen, and I'm going to go ahead and share our home buyers strategy guide with you. Now, something to keep in mind, this is, if I can put an analogy on it, what I'm about to show you, we're water skiing, if I may, right? We're just showing you on the top what we do. And if you are a first-time home buyer and you'd like to work with us, well, then we book an appointment and we dive deeper. Then we go scuba diving, all right? So let me go ahead and share my screen. And like I said, this is just gonna be a quick preview, and we will jump right back into the PowerPoint presentation. Here we go. All right, so as you can see, home buyer strategy meeting, and then what we go over is the home buyer guide. We go over our mission, vision, and values. This raving fans part, by the way, you guys, we don't share too much on this. You can look us up on Yelp. You can look us up on Google. You can look us up on Facebook. We don't have sponsored ads, meaning we don't pay to be on the top. And we are very blessed to be the #1 reviewed real estate team on the island. And that is a fact. You can look it up. And we're very humbled that we have clients who become our chosen family and really, really give us their endorsement and their belief and their word. So we go a little bit through that. And this is probably the most important thing you would like to know as a first-time home buyer. So we hold your hand through the entire process, explaining everything to you with deadlines, with important dates, and what exactly you need to know. Every step from choosing a real estate agent, which is us, by the way, all the way to the pre-approval process with you guys teaming up with Eddie and Will and Smart Money Inc. And then this entire process, okay? So a couple of things, like I said, this is just as a little bit of a preview, and yet we do dive deeper with you in the buyer's home strategy. So let me just show you. We go a little bit over some other important things as well in closing. And this is something I'd also like to highlight. And so not a lot of people know that we do this, and yet a portion of our commission that we get to receive from the purchase of the home, we actually donate to one of these 3 amazing nonprofits. Now, just so you know, we round robin it so that it is very fair. And we like to let you know that Rolando and I are on the committee for the Hawaii LGBT Legacy Foundation, and being queer people, we know it's important to give back and donate. Also, 808 cleanups. One of our dear friends, Kimiona, actually is the co-creator of 808 cleanups. And what we love about them is that they're not only doing beach cleanups and handing you a bag and gloves. They're all over the island. They educate you on animal migration patterns. They teach you about the plants. Can I tell you, I have never eaten so many wild type of plants or leaves because I was educated that way during us giving back. And so we want to be able to help them with their goals and their achievements, and also spread the word with them. So if you ever want to volunteer with us, we definitely can do that. And lastly, the Black Lives Matter movement. It's really, really important that equity is in the forefront of our business. Equity, equality, and treating people like people, and everybody deserves to own a home, no matter where they come from or what they look like. And so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. That's a little bit of our home buyer strategy meeting. And I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up really quickly with some last few slides for you. And then we're gonna turn it on over to Eddie and Will with Smart Money. Now, let me go ahead and share my screen again. And here we go. So we skimmed a little bit of what the home buyer strategy meeting looks like with us. Remember, if at the end of our call today, you are definitely interested and you want to learn more, well then contact us and book an appointment with us so that way we can help you. Now, a lot of our clients love this portion because you want to know, how much is it really going to cost me? And I know you guys are thinking that. So hopefully, and I'm sure you guys are all amazing, amazing listeners, and you're being interactive. You have a paper and pen ready. You've written some notes and questions because we do have a Q&A section during this call. Let me just go ahead and provide some value to you and share some of this information. After we have a buyer's consultation strategy meeting, after we look at properties, we submit your offer, we have a cover letter, and our offer gets accepted. Whoo! One milestone achieved. Now, the next couple of things you need to know financially, what are the responsibilities for you as a first-time home buyer? So this is some general information here. Ideally, an initial $1,000 deposit, right? And you work that out with escrow. Once again, we'll go over these details. And then depending if you're purchasing a single family residence or condo or townhome, this is the out-of-pocket cost for you as a home buyer through the home inspection company. All right. And then after the home inspection, if everything is satisfied and looks good, then you have generally $1,000 second deposit. And then I always like to include the appraisal report here. So here's the thing, and I know Will and Eddie will go over this. Now, the appraisal report, we itemize that as a closing cost, okay? Now, the reason that's important to remember that closing cost is because when we write an offer for you, I automatically ask the seller to cover all closing costs. Now, a couple of things could happen. They can agree to cover all, they can do half, they can do some, they can say no. And yet it doesn't hurt to ask, because Rolando and I love saving money, so we want to save our clients money, and I'm sure you guys would appreciate that. The reason we put this slide up here is so that you understand roughly you're going to need about $2,000, $2,500 liquid and available within the first 2 weeks of opening escrow, okay? And so that's important to know, because on top of everything else that Will and Eddie will educate you on, it's good to know what ducks you need to have in a row to be able to achieve your home ownership dreams, right? And then my favorite bonus question here, as you can see, a blank, the cost of hiring the O team. Well, here's something you should know. When you hire us as your buyer's agent, yes, we are paid off of a commission. Now, where does the commission come from? Do you think it comes from you? Does it come from someone else? So any property you purchase, the commission has already been decided by the seller and the listing agent. Therefore, the seller pays us, not you as a home buyer. So you don't ever pay us, you guys. You don't ever pay us. So you get the full experience, all of our knowledge and success and giving heart, adding value and winning your offer while you're teaming up with Smart Money Inc., all absolutely free. Okay, if I don't see my screen, and yet if you're not already doing the thumbs up emoji or the clapping, get to it, because free is amazing. So lastly here, when do we do it? It's up to you. Like I said earlier, we don't have a crystal ball, and are rates really low right now? Absolutely. Does Eddie, Will, and Smart Money have amazing programs for you? Absolutely. Is your experience a general cookie cutter type? No, it's very unique. So when you do book an appointment and have a conversation with Will and Eddie and with all of us, we're able to strategize and cater to your exact needs. So whenever you are ready, we're here for you, okay? I will say a lot of our home buyers are really taking an advantage of the low interest rates right now, and that home ownership dream is becoming more and more of a reality for a lot of our clients. I'm really grateful to be able to help. Lastly, you guys know, a quick recap. Who are we? The O team. Our big why: family, love, community, adding value, contributing, and changing the world through real estate. And that happens with helping you, right? And what do we do for you? Literally everything and anything real estate related. We go the extra mile, we'll bend over backwards, because we know your dream of home ownership isn't limited to just buying a home. It's what you put in the home, those experiences in your home. So many first memorable milestone moments and achievements will happen with you, your children, if you have any, your family. And it's amazing to be able to feel safe, home, confident, and secure that it's a property you own. All right. And then how do we do it? Home buyer strategy, negotiating for you, so many things we can dive deeper. And when do we do it? We definitely do it when you are ready. And because you're on this call today, that tells me you may be ready to start that conversation. And if you are, we're ready for you, okay? Lastly, this attitude of gratitude. So the second slide I showed you was of Rolando's grandpa and my grandmother. Now, my grandmother had this amazing saying, in everything, give thanks. And she didn't only mean that when the sun was shining bright and you were drinking your favorite lemonade drink, okay? In everything, give thanks. So will the home buying process be rainbows and butterflies all the time? We strive for that, and yet when times get tough, you have us. You have Eddie and Will and Smart Money Inc. You have the whole team, the whole family, the whole tribe here working for you, okay? And Rolando and I were thinking, what's the best way to express how gratitude is alive and well in our lives and in our business? And so what we decided to do is really premiere a closing video from one of our clients who is a first-time home buyer. They closed on their property last week, and we will be posting this closing video with them showing their gratitude and their experience, and we wanted to premiere it to you guys first. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen because I'm really excited. I know you guys are gonna love this. Once I have it up. And please, after the video, we will have a Q&A section for just this first portion of what Rolando and I are sharing. And so with that said, I'm so excited, I'm fumbling around. All right, I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna show you this amazing video from our client, Ian, who we helped. We had a buyer's consultation, a home buyer strategy meeting. We went to go look at properties. We found one, created an offer, got our offer accepted, and we were actually able to get the seller to pay all of the closing costs. And so at the very end, it didn't really cost them anything. I know you guys want that to happen for you too. So let's watch this video now.
The home buying process was streamlined. I think if I could put it in one word, it was efficient. I wasn't worried about, although I was prepared for the little things, I found that I wasn't too worried about them because I knew the team had everything taken care of. But my favorite part was how Joe matched my vibe and emotion about dealing with different properties. One piece of advice: don't settle. If it's not what you left the house to go do, then don't do it. Reevaluate. It's a $500,000 decision, a $250,000 decision. It's still a decision that you're tied to. That's what I would say. Know that the person working with you making this big decision actually cares about what you're doing. Easy to communicate with, and it's always like, oh, hey, this is what's next, or this is what we missed, or this is what we plan to do. That was very important. So thank you, Joe, and absolutely, I would recommend your team. Solid.
Woo! Just so you guys know, Rolando and I watched that and we teared up. It's really, really a blessing that we get to do what we do in this world. And for some of you who are on this call to be our future clients means the world to us. And so if anybody has any questions right now, Rolando, are there any questions in the chat at all? Or do we want to open up the floor really quickly for the next maybe 5 minutes before Eddie and Will start with any questions?
Yeah, we have one here. It says, do people still do live open houses?
Ooh, great question. So yes, live open houses are happening. So you guys know 2020 has been a very interesting year. So in the beginning, we had live open houses, and then during the shutdown, we weren't able to do any open houses. And now the open house criteria and requirements are there's no more than 5 people, including your agent, in a home showing. and we're able to have live open houses as long as the sellers are allowing showings. Almost always, of course, there's a mask, you need gloves, we wipe everything down. With some of the open houses, you're logging in through a QR code instead of signing in. Absolutely, there's open houses you can view physically, and we're happy to take you to them.
Awesome. We have another one here. It says, I went to an open house and had to sit in line before we were allowed to get in. If we hire you, can you schedule private showings?
Oh, absolutely. Now, here's the amazing thing with having relationships with other agents from other brokerages as well, not only Keller Williams. We like to help each other out. And here's what I do. I like to build rapport and build relationships. And if you tell me, Joe, this is the one, it just hit the market, oh, by all means, I'll contact that agent immediately. Most likely, we know them or they know us, and we can schedule something for you. And as you guys are seeing, sometimes if it's a vacant property, whew, no trouble. If it's not a vacant property, depending on their guidelines with a 24-hour notice or even, maybe pulling some strings to get you there first, we're happy to do that. Absolutely. What else we got?
And that's it for the questions so far.
Okay, great. Wow, awesome. Well, I'm going to challenge everybody that while you're listening with Will and Eddie, continue to write down some of those questions. At the very end, we'll have another Q&A portion, and it's very important that you get all of your questions answered, because I'm going to tell you this right now. If there's a little voice inside you that's like, maybe I should explore this option, listen to it. You're not going to lose anything. You'll have a chat with Will and Eddie. You'll have a chat with me. We can get an actual strategy going so you're closer to home ownership. And think about it, you guys. You could be in a home before the holidays. Incredible. All right. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Will and Eddie.
All right. Let's get
Hi guys, again, my name is Eddie Akabane, Smart Money, and this is William Rodriguez. He's our VP of Operations. Smart Money, we're a locally owned and operated mortgage broker. Prior to being a mortgage broker myself, I worked on the retail side of banking. So as a first-time home buyer, there are a lot of differences between going to your local bank or credit union versus a mortgage broker. And Smart Money, the reason why I've been here for so long and why I love working here is because we have a culture within our company that really, speaks to the heart, meaning we love to take care of people and not just move you through. You're just not a number to us. We actually want to customize and tailor a loan specifically for your situation and for the property that the O team will find you. This brings me to my next point. With the O team, Joe and Rolando, such a successful team of in the real estate world. It's they're also probably the most humble people I've ever met, and those two terms don't typically go with each other, but in their case, they're just so awesome to work with. So thank you guys for having us on this webinar. And Will and I, we're just going to go over this first-time home buyer presentation here. And as we go through it, if you have questions, please write them down, because I'm sure you're going to have a lot of questions regarding the first-time home buyer programs. What can I afford? What's the process? Everything like that. So let me share my screen here real quick. Okay, so the first-time home buyer program.
Ooh, hold on. There you go.
Can you see it now? Okay, there we go. Okay, first-time home buyers. Will and I have both been first-time home buyers, so we've been in your shoes. We know how kind of nerve-wracking it can be as far as, like, what can I qualify for? Basically, what do I do? How much money do I have to have? How much money do I have to make? Well, that's one thing that we're going to, help navigate you through and help, most importantly, educate you about, because the more you know about it, the more you'll be able to, invest in other properties in the future. Okay, so as we go through this presentation, we'll go through basically, where you can start the whole pre-qualification process. 5 keys to remember during a transaction, and basically the process and underwriting and how all of that works. Directly after our presentation, please ask any questions you have. There are no bad questions. Ask away. If you'd rather email or message us later, that's fine. That's fine too. Will, do you want to go over this one?
Sure. So we were thinking of what would a first-time home buyer would want to know, and there's a lot of misinformation out there. So I keep on hearing this over and over again. So I figured, so you hear a lot, you need 20% down payment to buy a property. The average price here in Honolulu is what, like $500,000, maybe more. That's $100,000 worth of money saved away, which I don't know if anybody that has that kind of money. So what this is super, yes, most banks would want for you to have 20% down payment, but the reality is that you only need as little as 3% if you're a first-time home buyer, or 0% if you're doing a USDA loan or a VA loan, which we can get into later on, or maybe on a private message, or if you want to talk to Eddie more about those programs as well. The next thing you hear is you got to have excellent credit. You got to be able to walk on water kind of credit. And that's not necessarily true. Yes, it does help the transaction. It does help the pricing. It does help everything else. But do not withhold yourself from buying a property or from even starting the search, because number one, you think you have bad credit. I ask people, well, how do you know you have bad credit? Oh, because I paid my credit card a day later. So I think I have bad credit. Or I keep tabs on Credit Karma, which is a good company or a good credit agency to keep tabs on your credit, but it's not necessarily the most accurate. So definitely talk to a mortgage professional, have your credit pulled, because that's the credit report that actually matters, okay? You must make a lot of money to qualify. It depends. If you're buying that $2 million home, in Hawaii Kai, and you're willing to pay that $14,000 a month mortgage payment, then sure, you got to make a lot of money. But you'd be surprised how much your money can go, or how much purchase power you have right now for people that are renting. Rent is not cheap here in Hawaii. So I hear people renting for $2,500, even $3,000 a month, and I'm thinking that's a mortgage payment right there. And okay. So here's the last one. So for you to be considered a first-time home buyer, you just can't have owned anything in the past 3 years. Hey, Eddie, I used to live in San Diego. I had a home. I sold it because I got moved to Hawaii. Am I considered a first-time home buyer? Absolutely. If it's been 3 years since your last own a property. So you can qualify for all the first-time home buyer programs once you've been outside of that period for 3 years. Go ahead.
Okay, where to start and the available programs available to you specifically. So there are the government loans. There's USDA, FHA, and VA. So to do a VA loan, you have to be active duty, military, or retired veteran. USDA is more for portions kind of out leeward or North Shore and outer islands. And that's a type of loan where you can do 100% financing with the USDA. At the FHA loan, you can do a 3.5% down payment. And with that loan, sometimes it can help a client get pre-qualified, but sometimes, it may not. Sometimes you're better off doing a 5% down, or you might qualify for the 3% down payment. But like I said, we always try to give you those different options to educate you on what's available for you and kind of show you the loan that best fits your needs, so that you can kind of see the differences between each. Fannie Mae, they have a first-time home buyer program called Home Ready, as well as Freddie Mac called Home Possible, and it's also known as Home One. So these are first-time home buyer programs where you actually get a little bit more, I guess you get better pricing with the rates and cost, as well as the minimum down payment is 3%. Okay, so 3% down of the purchase price. And also there is a program called the Down Payment Assistance Program. And that's with the City and County of Honolulu, where you can actually get an interest-free loan for $40,000 to include with your down payment. So with this program, you have to have 5% of your own down payment. So 5% of your own money, so 5% of the purchase price, plus $40,000 from the City and County of Honolulu, as long as you qualify for this program, meaning there are income caps, things like that. And again, we will educate you and navigate you through that whole process. Also, there is the Mortgage Credit Certificate Program. Currently, this program is not available because it's currently out of funds, I think the last time we checked. But if anything changes with that, again, we would, notify you, and we would let, Joe and Rolando know that, that program is available.
Oh, Ed, if I may go back to the last slide. So just in case you guys missed it, that's $40,000 of free money. 40. So this is kept secret that it's crazy how a lot of people don't know about this program, because it has money. I mean, right now it's funded, it's fully funded, and yes, not everybody qualifies for it, but if you are a first-time home buyer, this is one of those things that you have to get. You know what I mean? Like when you go to the Mexican restaurant, you have to get the guac. Same thing. When you're buying a home, you gotta at least ask about this $40,000. And even if you interview with any other bank, any mortgage professional, ask these questions. Do you have the Home Ready, Home Possible, Home One? Do you have access to the DPAL, or the Down Payment Assistance Program, and or MCC? And if I'm not mistaken, Eddie, we can kind of combine all of them into one too, right?
Correct. So if you are, in fact, you do qualify for the Home Ready or Home Possible Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac pricing, we can combine that loan, that pricing, along with the $40,000 down payment assistance program. The Home Ready and Home Possible first-time home buyer program only requires 3%, but if you do a combo with those programs and the down payment assistance program, you still need to put down 5% of your own fund to get the $40,000 additional. So definitely something worth thinking about and worth doing if that's in your realm of qualifications.
Got it. So the next slide is just basically homeownership statistics. Hawaii, I believe, we're towards the bottom in homeownership. Bottom half out of all the 50 states. I think we're at 58% as of 2019, if I'm not mistaken. Next slide. So this is based on household by race, and my apologies, we cut off the bottom of it. It's funny, I was commenting earlier today with the team that, I'm Hispanic, and I didn't see the Hispanics represented in here, so must be really tiny. Next one, Ed. Go.
Okay, so for the pre-qualification process, you will hear two kind of separate terms of pre-approval versus pre-qualification. So a lot of times when you speak to a loan officer, they'll talk to you over the phone, and they will pre-qualify you over the phone based on what you think your income is. Okay. So we ask you, what is your annual salary, or what is your, hourly pay? How many years have you been at your job, et cetera, et cetera. And based on just that conversation, we can pre-qualify you. Okay. What you want to have is a pre-approval. Pre-approval means we have your physical income documents. We have your pay stubs. We have your tax returns. We have your W-2 forms, any award letters if you receive like retirement, pension, or even if you're self-employed, we have everything to go off of to get you pre-approved based on hard evidence, meaning these are the documents we will use to get you approved with the lender that we end up doing the underwrite with. Definitely before you start looking at properties, I would recommend that you do speak to your loan officer in detail about your loan so that you understand how your loan works and you understand what your total payment will be per month, because in the end, you're the one that's going to be making that payment, not us. So we want you to be 100% comfortable with your mortgage payment and comfortable with how the loan works, and basically what we can do for you in the future. Because sometimes, we can, if the market gets better, like right now, rates are low. So a lot of clients we helped in the past 3 to 5 years, we're helping them refinance their mortgage to get a lower interest rate, to get a lower payment. And that's what we'll do for you in the future as well. Like as time goes on, rates get better, we'll give you a follow-up call and say, hey, look, we can save you like $500 a month by getting you a lower rate. Or, if you're one of those that just want to get rid of your mortgage and pay it off to zero, we'll give you strategies on that as well. But once you're pre-approved, once we have all of your documentation and we have a solid yes, we can get you approved for this purchase price, that's when you'll have the discussion and the meeting with the O team, with Joe and Rolando, so that you can really kind of merge the two and say, oh, I can afford this, no problem, because I spoke to Will and Eddie about this purchase price and this maintenance fee, property tax, insurance, everything that goes along with your mortgage. And you can let them know that basically what you want, your wants and aspirations, the must-haves versus the unicorns and the compromise in between. But yeah, in the end, it's all about you have to set a realistic and honest expectation of you can afford, right? So basically, the loan that you're qualified for versus the properties that you're looking at, so that you really know what you will be buying in the future, because you don't want to property and look at like a $10 million house and then you only approved for $1 million. It's just you definitely want to know what you qualify for on the mortgage side first, so that you feel comfortable, confident going into an offer with the O team. As far as the process of gathering your documents and meeting with us to go over your credit report, we go over your income, how we calculate your income, and why. Just letting you know, like what the next steps are in the process of the mortgage process. One thing that we do recommend while you are searching for your dream home is to not make any major financial purchases. Like I had a client, she's super awesome, but I think right before she got an accepted offer, she leased, I think it was a Range Rover, and suddenly she has like an $800 monthly payment for this Range Rover, and we still made the loan work, but it definitely gave me heartburn, just because it was just a hurdle that I had to get over to make sure she remained pre-approved with us, going into this transaction. So if at all possible, try not to, do a lot of Christmas shopping, charging the credit card. You can still, live your life and do things as usual, but, discuss it with me first or whoever you're working with. And, the more that we know, the more we can help you navigate and, get to the end point successfully.
Yeah. Eddie, sorry. If
Yeah,
I could
sure.
say something about the prior, the slide prior to this one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so just real quick about the being honest with the loan officer. A lot of times it feels like our job is almost like CSI or FBI investigating. We have to dive really deep into your life. And it's super important that you're honest with it. We're not the IRS, we're not the cops, we're loan officers, but we need to know the entire picture, because if you withhold information such as, a tax lien or child support lien or anything like that, it comes out, when you start your process with the title company, they run the search. The bank runs the search. It's called the LexisNexis, and they find everything about you, where you lived, if there's, any collections that didn't pop up on the credit report. So if the loan officer seems a little too, personal, asking all these questions, it's not because they're trying to pry on your information, but rather they need to know the picture so they know if there's a possible pitfall or how to avoid it, And the best part is that we're on your team. It's not that we're fighting against you, but we're fighting with you, but we're trying to figure out ways to better get you to the final product, which is the home. Okay. Oh, and then lastly, discuss the timelines with all parties involved. This is also important to discuss it with the real estate agents, because this happens more often than not. But hey, I got into escrow, and okay, figuring out when you're going to sign the final loan documents. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, I'm going on a 2-month vacation to South America and I won't be available. So make sure that you keep these things in mind, because of course you are needed to sign the loan documents, So discuss with your realtor and your loan officer as well.
Five keys to remember throughout the transaction. So the first one I wanted to go over was, of course, getting pre-approved by, reputable mortgage company. Super important, because I guess you want to know going into any kind of purchase of a real estate transaction that you want to just go in confident. So you really want to know that you're 100% qualified and you're good to go. There's not going to be any hiccups throughout the process, which can happen. Number two, I think Will put the transaction begins and ends with you, meaning like when we first meet with you, we really need to know what your end goal is, what you want to buy, why you want to buy it, and that although you do qualify for, I don't know, let's say an $800,000 mortgage, are you comfortable with that payment? Are you happy with that? Or do you want, something less? Things like that. So it's really important that, we have all of your, I guess, all of the things that you have in mind when, looking for real estate. We want to make sure that it is your decision, because we are here to help you. We're not here just to sell you a loan and, move on with life. Like I said, we really want to help you attain a home for you and your family, because unfortunately, sometimes you'll get a loan from a bank and you'll never hear from that loan officer ever again. With us, I still speak with clients I've had over 16 years ago that, they're either looking to purchase a new property, a bigger property, because they've had kids since then, or, things that life throws at you sometimes, like college tuition. things like that. So we're always here to help you. Okay, we're never here to just try to sell you a loan. So that's something to kind of just be aware of. You definitely want to pick a knowledgeable and qualified real estate team. And that's why our company loves to work with the O team, Joe and Rolando. They're, like I said, you'll meet people in life, and sometimes you come across somebody that really kind of just really you connect with, and you just have a really good feeling about. And these two are definitely those people, because they really care about what your goal is and why you're trying to buy a home. And you genuinely get that feeling of, oh, they actually listen to me, they actually care about me. That's an awesome thing to have, especially with buying a home. It's good to have that knowledge of there's somebody there to help take care of me, help guide me through this process.
Right.
Okay. And the last one to remember is, when is a good time to buy? Now is always a good time to buy, because right now, when you're thinking about purchasing a home, if the stars are aligned properly and you're pre-approved with the lender, rates are good, there's always that voice in the back of your mind like, oh, well, our rate's going to get lower next year, our price is going to get lower next year. And like Joe said, none of us have a crystal ball. I wish I did. That would be awesome. My job would be super easy if I had a crystal ball. But the fact is, nobody has a crystal ball. So if you're thinking about purchasing a home, you definitely should go for it. And if you're not sure, that's when you come to myself or Joe or Will or Rolando and ask your questions or your doubts, and we'll talk about it. And if it's for you, great. And if it's not, then we can wait. It's nothing that you have to rush into. You definitely want to be methodical about going through the entire process of buying a home. William, would you like to do the process with underwriting?
Sure. So, you talked to the loan officer, you got pre-approved for a loan. The O team got you an awesome home. You got into escrow. So, okay. So the first thing is, obviously you get pre-approved. Again, remembering the pre-approval, meaning that you have to pull your credit, you have to give your the rule of twos, two year tax returns, 2 pay stubs, 2 bank statements, etc. You shop for a home, you get a home. You get put into escrow. That's when you do the first $1,000 that Joe mentioned earlier today. Then you open up the escrow. Escrow is a third-party company that handles all the money while we're in transaction. So they're the ones that get your first $1,000. They're the guys that get all the money from the lender, and at the end, they're the ones that disperse the money to all the appropriate parties, right? Of course, you do the loan application, and keep in mind that every time, if you talk to a loan officer today, you end up, getting an offer accepted 2 months from now, you will need updated pay stubs, because again, every 30 days, the lender would want to see, no more or no less than 30 days worth of pay stubs, just to ensure that you're still making the same amount of money if we're using commission or bonus or anything like that, just so that they can average it out. Okay. Your credit report is good for 90 days. So again, on that side, if you pull your credit, you're fine. Again, after the conversation with the loan officer, you pick a loan that makes sense to you. Of course, keeping in mind that some loans may take a little longer than some others. And so keeping in mind that your time frame is only 45 days sometimes. And lately I've seen purchase contracts where 35 days. So it's even shorter of a turn time. So it's important to have all this already figured out before you even put in the offer. The appraisal portion. So back to what Joe said, the 900 is actually, depending on the size of the property, the average appraisals are ranging, I want to say, between $650 to $750. However, right now it is extremely busy. So a lot of appraisers are turning down regular appraisals, and they're actually asking for more money because it's super busy. So the 900 is really not that far off. And that's the only out-of-pocket expense that you normally would experience on the mortgage side before you get to closing, because they need to get paid up front. Once the loan is submitted to the lender, you get the conditional loan approval. These are conditions that the underwriter says, okay, well, we've reviewed all of your file, what the loan officer gave us, your pay stubs and everything else. And let's say we need an additional, they have questions about your income, or they may have questions about something that came up on the credit report, or something that came up on their own research. Hey, it says here that, you know, you have a tax lien in California, but you've never lived in California. But it's very likely that your name and somebody else's name might be similar, and that's what's showing up on your report. So these are the things that you would work with the loan officer and the lender to clear the conditions. Then finally, you know, once the conditions are clear, the lender clears the loan to close, you get documents, and that's when you meet with the loan officer or the escrow officer, sign, you know, normally you would sign at the title company. At Smart Money, we go a little bit above and beyond, and we can figure out a mobile notary to come to your house, especially in today's world. You know, a lot of people don't feel comfortable going into an office. So what we do oftentimes is we actually may hire a mobile notary to come to your house. If you don't feel comfortable with somebody coming into your house, it can meet you in a public place. Some of the title companies even have a drive-through type of signing where the notary sits outside. They give you your documents with the tabs showing where you need to sign. You sign them, and then you give them back to them. And there's never contact with the notary as well. And then, of course, once the loan funds from the lender and your own funds, within 2 business days of that, that's when the loan records. And recording, or closing as they call it, is when you get the final keys. That's when you guys and the O team get together and take pictures with the big old, oh, that was a pretty cool picture, by the way, Joe. That was awesome. And that's pretty much where we end. So now I was thinking about the homeownership impact, right? Because of course, yes, you know, at the forefront of it all, yes, I need a roof over my head. And my family's head, you know, shelter. It's one of the basic needs that we have. But there's so much more that comes along with owning a home, right? Your net worth. It's something that grows in value. This is an appreciating asset. I was just reading earlier today that it's basically like you're forced to save money. Every time you make that mortgage payment, 2 things are happening. Number 1, the balance of that loan is coming down. Right? Number 2, the equity of the property is going up. So you're physically, it's like a 401k on steroids here in Hawaii. And it's not because I drink the Kool-Aid every day being in the mortgage world. I have personally experienced that. And one home can lead to a next home once the equity built in there. Like Eddie said, we have had clients for a number of years that we come back and we strategize, hey, listen, now there's enough equity in this place. Maybe you can take out some of that equity and buy another property, and, you know, same thing, rinse, wash, and repeat. And that's how you build wealth in today's world. If you're not, you know, a billionaire, that's the way to get to somewhat of a fighting chance to become one, especially here in Hawaii. I read somewhere that it increases the graduation rates, good health, the net family net worth, and it actually decreases, out of all things, asthma. This is based according to the Habitat for Humanity, which is like super random stat about homeownership impact. So again, there is more to it than just owning the home, and much like the O team, we're really dedicated to it. And like Eddie said, it's not just a number. You know, you're an actual person. And again, we always have the same conversation with the client. You know, it has to make sense to you. The only benefit of this loan cannot be my paycheck. There has to be something in there for you, because if there isn't, if I'm the only one that's pushing for this, then maybe this is not a home that you should be getting. You know what I mean? So with that, Q&A.
Awesome. Yeah. So I have 2 questions here. First one, how much does it cost me as a potential home buyer to hire Eddie and the Smart Money team?
That is a great question. And the answer is $0. Basically, we have no commitment fee. We have no fees that we charge you. Again, the initial conversation that we'll have, or consultation that we have, will be to just kind of go over, you know, what you're looking for, what you want to buy, and basically just information about yourself. And throughout the entire transaction, even if or after we get you the loan and you buy the home, you pay us nothing. The way our company gets paid is directly from the lender. So at no point do we ever send you an invoice or do we ever charge you for anything. So that allows us really to focus in on you, the market, interest rates, getting your loan done, and communicating with our team, the O team, with Joe and Rolando on where we're at in the process. And so basically with the purchase of the property, with the loan, you pay nothing.
Great. Next question. How many people can be on a loan together?
So it depends. I've had, I think 6 people on a loan. So mom, dad, son, wife, daughter, husband. Fannie Mae has a rule that I think no more than 4 people, but Freddie Mac allows, I don't even know if they have a limit on that. So we see that on multi-generational type of homes. I do see a lot of clients that, just to reach for a higher purchase or a higher loan amount, they bring in other people that live in the home, and that's completely fine. There's no problem with that. So again, that's one of the other things that we look at, going back to what Eddie said about setting realistic expectations. If I'm making, not enough money to qualify for that loan, but yet I want to have that, $1 million property in Hawaii Kai, it's not a no. We will let you know, hey, look, based on your own income and your own credit, you may not qualify. However, if you have additional family members that might be living with you, would it be okay going on the loan? And then that's when you see the mom, the dad, the sister, the cousins, and kind of utilizing it all together. So that's the part where we really sit down and strategize. And back to the first question about the getting paid, if after all this information and everything, you decide that maybe what we said was not good enough or whatever, there is no money that you owe us. At no point in time are you tied to us as a company. If I said anything that, upset you or whatever the case is, and you decide, hey, this is not for us, there is no financial commitment. And again, this is solely with the purpose of keeping us focused on the loan and on you, right? The loan begins and ends with you. That's what I meant by that slide. You're not going to be held hostage because, okay, well, I already put $500, in an application fee, and I feel uncomfortable walking away from that money. So.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys. So before we close off, and thank you for joining us at the end in a few minutes, I'm not sure if you guys knew, by participating in today's Zoom call with me, Rolando, Eddie, and Will, you actually automatically entered a raffle sponsored by Eddie Will Smart Money. Before we get to that, though, I want to remind you guys, if you have any specific questions and anything that we've said has reached you in here and in here, well then definitely reach out to us so that we can help you with whatever it is. And I know really fast before we go, we are able to speak with you or any of your friends or family, whether you want to buy a property in a month, 6 months, even a year. It's important that you know that we don't rush you, and we want to work as fast as you need us to. And sometimes, if you're anything like me, you want to know all the information before you take action. We can appreciate that, and we will work with you. So thank you for joining us. I'm going to turn it over to Rolando, who's going to close off the show with our $25 Amazon gift card winner, sponsored by Eddie and Will and Smart Money Inc. Rolando, who do we got as our winner today?
Awesome. Yes, I pulled a name earlier from my little bucket, and it is, oh, you can't see it, but Amy Rum.
Yeah.
Amy.
Congrats.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. So with that said, everybody, our Zoom call has ended. Thank you for making time for us and with us. We trust that you guys got some value. We look forward to your text messages, emails, and phone calls. Let's meet and chat soon so we can help you buy a home. Congrats, you guys. Take care. Thanks, Will and Eddie.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.